questions and answers. Any questions? Yes.
I'm from New York City, and Republican National Convention, the police wasn't us, it wasn't drugs. One thing I wonder, the ACLU now is suing the NYPD, they're not suing the individual officer. How can that be changed? If the individual officer had to worry about his personal bank account being taken away from him, as opposed to the department saying, don't worry, if there's a lawsuit, it doesn't come out of your pocket, it comes out of the department's budget or the taxpayers or the city's treasury. Two different things.
You brought up a valid point. As a cop, I was protected. The only reason lawsuits bothered us is because it cost our insurance company money. So it caused me to calm down. But I never had to pay anything. I had immunity. And it's not fair and it's not right. The individual cop should lose something. You know there's no system that tracks cops' arrest versus successful prosecutions. A cop can arrest 100 people, get 100 not guilties, and it's the arrest that counts. It's not fair, it's not right.
That's got to change.
That's got to change. And the way to change that again is to cost those chiefs and those sheriffs money and put the fear over them that they won't be insured. Then the city would have to pay the next lawsuit, and the city doesn't want to do that. Next question. Yeah, okay. He was asking about the immunity. Yeah, judges have the immunity, police have the immunity, and prosecutors have the immunity. It's crazy.
You're talking about, police protecting us, and it seems like when you were a police officer, they used to teach that the perpetrator had to actually assault or seem to assault you before the police would attack individuals. It seems like now they're training policemen that if you even have an inkling that someone might think about attacking you, you should kill them and then work it out. That appears to be the training that's going out now with the SWAT teams.
The use of force is what you're talking about.
Much more force than historically, it seems to me.
It used to be we use a verbal command, that's a use of force. And then we can grab you, that's a use of force. Then we can punch you. Then we can go to a baton, and we do all of these things before we go to the gun. Well, I think what he's noticing and what America is noticing is they're skipping all this in between, and they're just going from verbal to a gun. And it's an adrenaline rush. They're not there to protect our kids, and I explained that. I wasn't there protecting the kids, that was a smoke screen. I'm seizing drugs to help kids. No, I was seizing drugs because of my own ego. I was seizing drugs because I was addicted to adrenaline. If I injected you with certain doses of adrenaline every day, 10 times a day, you would be addicted to it too, and you'd want more. Well, that's what these cops are doing. It's a huge adrenaline rush. And I explained that, yes.
Question regarding your, in the film, you show people how to grow in the field without getting caught. I'm just wondering, is it just useful information, or is it you want people to be very successful and have such a wide distributed product, marijuana, that the cops just give up because it's just so big? Or what's the reason?
Both.
That's where
Both, absolutely.
you actually want to make marijuana huge.
Yeah, it is so huge now they can't do anything about it.
You want to make it like triple or quadruple?
Absolutely. I like Mark Emery, the owner of this magazine. This is a Canadian magazine, but it's in the U.S., sold next to High Times magazine. You can find it. And he's, the DEA is trying to extradite him into the country for selling marijuana seeds, which is a misdemeanor in all the states, but they want to put him in prison for life. We're trying to help him fight that extradition. But I like what he said, to answer your question. He said, let's overgrow the government. Let's outgrow the government. But yeah, I want to see pot growing everywhere. I don't think it should be taxed. I think the government just needs to leave it alone. Come up with a plan. Yes.
The state wants to legalize marijuana. Is there
Man, that is a great question. A reporter was at my house 2 days ago, Tyler newspaper. They're going to come out with a Sunday paper with my story running for Congress. He said, your House bill in Texas was just passed, and it was passed by the Republicans, the conservative people. that now cops can issue a citation for up to a quarter pound of marijuana instead of taking you to jail. Quarter pound, that's 4 ounces. Yet only one county in Texas is doing that. All the other counties and prosecutors, nope, you're still going to jail for marijuana. And he asked my reaction on that. And I said, well, that's no different than 13 or 14 states here in the U.S. have already legalized medical marijuana in their states, the voters, the me's and the you's that we want it, and the federal government doesn't recognize it. And they come in with their craziness and SWAT helicopters and raid. I don't know what it's going to take to stop that except us keep grinding and keep suing. Let's sue the DEA. You know, let's jam up our civil court systems because we're not winning in criminal court. Question? Yes. I'll get you next. I forgot. Sorry.
Well, that's a comment. Very much into the health movement, but more people die and become addicted. Over 100,000 people a year in the United States die from doctors prescribed drugs.
Yeah.
Addicted to prescription drugs.
He's right. More people die every year from prescription drugs than all 4 illegal drugs put together. I mean, God, we got how many millions of kids now that are amphetamine addicts? With Ritalin? Oh, no. Instead of telling the parent, you need to get a hold of that crazy kid of yours. There's some bad parenting there. They go, it couldn't possibly be your fault. Your kid has a disease. Here's methamphetamine. That's what's happening.
It also leads to